You're watching Alert 360 News, the channel that cuts through the noise and gives you the truth from every angle. Stay alert, stay informed, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a major update.
Bad reality is that many of the parts manufacturers have started laying off employees because, well, the auto manufacturers don't need quite as many parts because of the strike. Now, what's exacerbated that situation is dealers can no longer get their daily parts orders from their manufacturers. Most dealers place an order on a daily basis, and a lot of the parts they expect to get the next day or the day after that. Well, if they have your car sitting in their service department waiting on parts that you need so that you can get your car back, and they have no idea when they'll be able to get those parts, that's going to make their life more difficult and your life more difficult. And if you're a DIYer who likes to take care of his car and you need to get some parts so that you can keep your warranty in place because it's time for recommended services from the manufacturer and the parts you need in order to do that aren't available, what's going to happen then? I mean, this is just really, really an ugly situation that is only going to get, I'm afraid, you forget for just a second that it actually impacts the body shop as well. Because they have done a lot of the work to the vehicle. Okay, they can't release the vehicle. They can't get paid for the vehicle by the insurance company. Yet they've already laid out money for the parts that they could get their hands on. This creates a cash flow crisis for dealerships and auto body shops. It is. As I said before, it's an ugly situation that's just going to get uglier, and people have to realize the downstream impact of this. Something so simple that you would think, yeah, it should take a day or so, could end up taking months because there just aren't the parts needed.
The camera opens on the vast skyline of North America, a region that has shaped the global auto industry for more than a century. Factories hum, highways pulse with movement. Millions of vehicles roll off assembly lines every year. But beneath the surface, a massive shift is underway, one that reshapes borders, disrupts old alliances, and sends shockwaves through the world's most valuable car market. For decades, Toyota stood as an unstoppable force in America. Its reputation for reliability, fuel efficiency, and long-lasting vehicles helped it climb from an outsider to a household name. Families trusted it, dealerships thrived. Even during economic downturns, Toyota stood strong. Its plants across the American South, Kentucky, Texas, Mississippi symbolized stability and success. But the world around Toyota was evolving faster than anyone expected. Electric vehicles were no longer a distant dream. They were the new battlefield. Governments pushed for cleaner energy. Consumers demanded innovation. Rivals poured billions into battery technology and EV production. The auto industry was entering a technological revolution, and every company had to choose its path. Toyota, long committed to hybrids, suddenly found itself behind. Its leadership hesitated. Its strategy focused on gradual change, not rapid disruption. And in America, hesitation carried a cost. A political shift intensified the pressure. The United States began implementing aggressive policies to favor domestically produced vehicles and homegrown supply chains. New incentives rewarded EVs built with American-made batteries. New rules tightened eligibility for tax credits. New sourcing requirements reshaped global trade patterns. The goal was simple: bring manufacturing back to American soil. But the unintended outcome was far more complex. Companies that relied on global supply chains, including Toyota, suddenly found themselves squeezed. Many of Toyota's battery components came from Asia. Many of its EV partnerships were based overseas. Much of its planned electrification strategy depended on factories not yet built. As a result, Toyota's vehicles struggled to qualify under the new incentive system. Consumers saw fewer tax credits. Dealerships faced price disadvantages. Rivals gained ground. While this was happening, something unexpected was taking place across America's northern border. Canada saw an opportunity and moved faster than anyone anticipated. The country launched massive investments in electric vehicle production, clean energy, and battery technology. Billions flowed into Ontario and Quebec, transforming them into emerging EV powerhouses. Canada secured partnerships with global automakers. It attracted foreign investment. It tapped into its abundant natural resources: nickel, lithium, cobalt, rare earths materials essential for EV batteries. The timing couldn't have been better. As the United States tightened its manufacturing rules, Canada stepped forward as the most attractive alternative. Companies could build vehicles in Canada, benefit from stable policies, access raw materials, and still qualify under North American trade frameworks. What the United States restricted, Canada welcomed. What the US made complicated, Canada made easy. In a sudden twist, the America First approach began pushing companies not toward American factories but toward Canadian ones. Toyota felt this shift immediately. Its American operations slowed. Pressure mounted, sales growth softened, dealers expressed concern about losing competitive ground. Meanwhile, Toyota's Canadian operations surged with new investments, expanded research centers, and growing production plans. The imbalance grew clearer. Markets were shifting north. This was not the dramatic collapse of a company, but the implosion of a carefully built market advantage. A decades-long foundation in America was weakening. The very policies meant to strengthen American industry were unintentionally creating openings for its closest neighbor. Canada was not just participating in the EV race, it was winning it. The auto industry is built on supply chains that stretch across borders, oceans, and continents, but for the first time in decades, the center of gravity in North America was tilting. Canada became the destination for battery manufacturers. Mining companies expanded operations. New gigafactories rose from empty lots. Government incentives reached historic levels. Workers trained for next-generation automotive jobs. A new auto ecosystem took shape faster, cheaper, cleaner, and more competitive than expected. For Toyota, the message was unmistakable. America was becoming a tougher environment. Canada was becoming a strategic lifeline. The shift raised questions across the industry. Was America unintentionally pushing away the very companies it needed to succeed? Were policies designed to help American automakers backfiring and driving investment elsewhere? And was Canada's rise the result of planning or a rare moment of geopolitical opportunity? Toyota's challenges in the United States revealed deeper cracks in the global auto landscape. Supply chains were being rewritten. Old rules no longer applied. Electric vehicles required different materials, different factories, and different political strategies. The companies that adapted fast survived. Those that hesitated faced consequences. And Toyota, despite its enormous size and global influence, found itself caught between old strengths and new demands. But Toyota is not a company known for surrendering. Its history is shaped by reinvention. It rebuilt itself after economic crises, natural disasters, and global competition. Now, faced with the realities of the new EV era, Toyota began recalibrating. It accelerated its battery development. It formed new partnerships in North America. It expanded research into solid-state technology. It prepared new EV models specifically designed for American and Canadian markets. A transformation had begun. America, too, faced a pressing question. Could it maintain its leadership in global manufacturing? The policies designed to favor American-made vehicles carried benefits but also unintended consequences. Some companies struggled to adapt, some shifted focus, and some questioned whether the U.S. had underestimated the flexibility of neighboring economies. As Toyota's presence in Canada expanded, observers around the world took notice. A new balance of power was forming in North America's auto sector. Factories in Ontario were producing vehicles destined for American roads. Battery plants in Quebec were supplying materials critical to U.S. automakers. Canadian exports grew. Canadian jobs surged. Canada became a central pillar in the continent's electric future. Meanwhile, America's strategy faced scrutiny. Supporters argued that strengthening domestic production was essential. Critics argued that rigid rules risked pushing companies away. Economists saw a divide forming, one region rising, another adjusting, and the industry caught in the middle. The outcome was not the collapse of an automaker, but a dramatic reordering of where growth, innovation, and opportunity would occur. Toyota's shift from dominance in America to strategic reliance on Canada reflects a broader truth about global economics. Policies must match reality. Nations must anticipate consequences, markets must adapt quickly, and companies must evolve or risk falling behind. In the battle for North America's auto future, Canada seized momentum precisely when the United States tightened its grip. The future remains unwritten. Toyota is investing heavily in its comeback. America continues refining its manufacturing policies. Canada strengthens its position as a global EV hub. But one thing is certain, the dynamics of the auto industry will never look the same again. The shifts we see today will determine the winners and losers of the next decade. As the camera pulls back over the continent, American highways, Canadian factories, and the vast network that connects them, the story becomes clear. A powerful automaker faced its hardest moment in one market while rising in another. A national policy designed to boost domestic strength triggered reactions no one predicted, and a country often underestimated emerged as one of the biggest winners of the new electric age. This is the new reality of North America's auto revolution. A story of competition, consequence, and transformation. A reminder that in the global economy, every action sparks a ripple, and sometimes, that ripple becomes a wave powerful enough to reshape an entire industry. Thanks for watching Alert 360 News, where real stories meet real impact. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the fastest growing news community on YouTube.